Listen carefully, because I will not say this twice. I am Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso, and today I speak not only for myself, but for millions of Africans. The era of silence is over. We will no longer bow. We will no longer let outsiders treat Africa like their playground. Recently, words were attributed to the Israeli Prime Minister, claiming African leaders must obey or face consequences. Whether he said them or not doesn't matter. The message was clear. Some still believe they can frighten us. My reply is this: Africa is not for sale, and Africa is not afraid. In Ouagadougou, before cameras, journalists, and my people, I stood without a script. Truth does not need paper. I looked straight into the camera and said, "We are not colonies anymore. We are sovereign nations. Any leader who thinks threats will break us is mistaken." And I made it plain. Burkina Faso answers neither to Tel Aviv nor Washington. We will never be bought or bombed into obedience. My words were not for one country alone. They were for every power that has tried to exploit Africa. And my warning was simple. If you strike one of us, you strike us out. Some ask, why not stay quiet? Why not send a letter or whisper behind closed doors? Because silence is what they expect. They expect us to bow our heads and obey. But that is not who I am. That is not what Burkina Faso stands for. And that is not what Africa needs. For too long, our resources have been stolen, our maps divided, our lives dictated by others. Even after independence, they used soldiers, money, and threats to keep us in line. Enough. My people are done. Africa is done. After I spoke, my words did not remain in Ouagadougou. They spread like fire. Across social media, X, Telegram, WhatsApp, millions heard them. Not just in Burkina Faso, but in Mali, Niger, Guinea, South Africa. Young people, farmers, students, activists, they all felt it. They weren't just listening to me. They were hearing their own anger, their own hope. Leaders stood with me. Assimi Goïta in Mali, Mamadi Doumbouya in Guinea. Hashtags rose. Africa will not bow. We stand with Traoré. These were not slogans, they were battle cries. Proof that Africa is waking up. Sovereignty is not just a word. It is the right to decide our future. The right to control who enters our land, who uses our resources, who we choose as partners. For too long, outsiders treated Africa as a chessboard, moving soldiers and companies as pieces while we stayed silent. That time is finished. In Burkina Faso, we are taking control. No foreign bases on our soil. No exploitative deals. No threats to bend us. And we are not alone. Across the Sahel, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are building the Sahel Alliance, an alliance of defense, unity, and freedom. Some say leaders before me have spoken like this. True, but this moment is different. The world is changing, and Africa is changing too. We no longer follow rules written abroad. France once thought it owned us, with its bases and its control. But we pushed them out, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and we will push out anyone else who tries to chain us. When I spoke against Netanyahu, it was not just to him. It was to every power that thinks sanctions or bombs can rule us. My message is clear. Africa is awake. And Africa is not afraid that I never set out to be a symbol. I am only a son of Burkina Faso, serving my people. But the messages pouring in from youth, elders, and families show me this fight is bigger than me. They call me a voice for Africa, and I accept it only as a duty. Because I believe in Africa, in the strength of our ancestors, in the power of our youth, in the dream of a continent that does not beg, but stands as equal. To my African brothers and sisters, this is our moment. Do not fear. Rise in your communities, demand your rights, support leaders who fight for you. Together, we will build an Africa that is strong, proud, and free.